Hey guys, Preston Searcy here for our April Nomad video newsletter. Man, March has been a crazy month. You know, a lot of us had spring break with our kids, and man, the first day of spring, you know, here in New Albany, like 8 to 10 inches of snow all over the place. The weather this season has just been so hit or miss. And as you know, so much of what we do is out on the streets and depends on the weather. And often when the weather's like this, it's just hard to find people and minister to them. But either way, we have been able to interact with quite a few people. One of those we want to update you on, Chris, our friend who we had asked for prayer for because he was arrested back in the fall. He's out of jail, and man, we saw him over in the park, and we're able to talk with him and pray with him a bit. And he looked great. He was doing really well, and I know that he really appreciated you praying for him and thinking of him, you know, as somebody who maybe often folks aren't thinking about and praying about. We're just so glad to know that there are brothers and sisters like you all willing to pray for someone like Chris who's going through struggle. Anyway, one thing we wanted to update you on, we mentioned a couple of videos ago that this season we wanted to focus on unifying pastors in the New Albany area. And I'm excited to say that April 26th, coming up at the end of the month, we are hosting a pastor prayer breakfast in New Albany. And we just want to extend an invitation. If you are a pastor at a church in New Albany, we would love for you to be a part of this conversation. We're going to have breakfast together, have some prayer time for the city, and just encourage each other in our work with the poor in the area. So again, that's April 26th. And if you're a pastor, please contact us so we can give you all the information you need to come to that. So Matt was in Guatemala this past week, and we thought it would be cool if he took some time out from that trip to take a moment and share some stories about what he's doing down there and also about what God has been doing here in the area. So I'm going to hand it over to Matt right now.
Hey guys, it's Matt from Nomad. Guys, you may notice in the background there's a little bit of commotion, and you may look kind of like a high mountain desert area. That's because right now I'm in Guatemala. But we would still want to get our newsletter video out to you, so I filmed a little bit for Preston to put in the video. We just want to come to you this month to kind of share some of the things that we have been experiencing, you know, back home. Some of the same things that we continue to pour into all those who would come and walk with us in the neighborhoods and those that we meet on the street and in the alleys. Those same things and those same ideas that Jesus shares with us. That's one of the things that we wanted to come here and share also with these students as they begin to love this community here in San Raimundo, Guatemala. This area right here is actually in a real rural area. This family lives right next to the local church, and they are a part of this church, and this is a way that the pastor can partner with Casa por Cristo and be able to continue to pour into these families as he shepherds them and disciples them, and then we're able to share Jesus with them and to be able to connect and build them a house this week. And for us as the leaders for this trip, we brought about 110 students down here, and this is a way that we can disciple them. The same thing, being present in people's lives and being intentional about the way that we love them and share Jesus. And so the same thing that we're doing at home, walking, meeting those that are out in the communities. And again, we've been talking about how we've been going into Jeffersonville, riding the bus there, and also walking around the streets. And we also begin to partner with Southern Indiana Rescue Mission. We kind of have some office space that they've offered us there, and that allows us like a little base camp to be able to kind of jump in, get something to drink, use the bathroom, or do any kind of computer work we might need to do before we head back out in the neighborhood. And as we go out in the neighborhood, we're finding a lot of different areas in Jeffersonville, just like in New Albany, where there's a lot of homeless individuals, a lot of marginalized individuals. It's a great opportunity for us to be able to pour into them and to really share Jesus's love. You know, recently we contacted a lot of people at the library. The library is actually this really safe place for this large community of homeless in Jeffersonville. And as we begin to kind of go there and meet people, we saw this great vision of community there. There's so many people that just share, and we're sharing hugs and telling each other they loved each other when they were coming up, and it was this beautiful thing to see. And as we witnessed this, there was a gentleman who walked up, and he was really the catalyst for this interaction between the one of this hope and love between them. And as he went back and sat down, I noticed he had a few crosses that he was wearing. I sat down there. I asked him if I could sit down next to him. We began to talk. We talked about his cross, and he told me he's a believer. And he says it's the only way that he makes it out here is knowing that Jesus is with him. And he wants to share that with his community. And it's just a beautiful thing. And so we just wanted to share some of these little things that we're doing. I'm sure Preston's got some other things he wants to tell you about. Guys, I'll be back next week, back in the States. We thank you for your prayers for this trip. And some of you guys even and supported us going here with the Rising with Northside. And so we thank you for that too. We love you guys. God bless from San Raimundo.
Man, I love seeing Matt down in Guatemala. I know his participation on that trip means a lot to all of those who are involved. Man, just want to wrap up and wanted to mention Northside Christian Church's Serve Day is April 28th, and they've asked Matt and I to lead prayer walks both in New Albany and Jeffersonville. And whether or not you go to Northside, it's fine. If you want to be a part of that prayer walk, again, you can sign up on Northside's website, or you can just contact us and go with us throughout the neighborhood, down alleyways and that kind of thing, to pray for our city and pray for those who are hurting. With that said, we want to thank you again for all of your prayers and support of what we do. It means the world to us, and humbly we say it, we think it means the world to Jesus too. Thank you for caring about the poor and marginalized, and we will see you next month. God bless.